Egypt, the land of pharaohs. Every journey through Egypt is a voyage through the byways of the history of mankind, where history and legends lie entangled. As we traverse along the river's banks, we come across huge temples, grand palaces, and mysterious burial sites that survived the ravages of time and sit on the fertile agricultural lands made rich with the Nile's gifts. If we travel along the indolent Nile, inhaling these breathtaking sights, we are sure to become oblivious of everything else, including our very selves. Egypt is akin to a bridge connecting Northeast Africa and Central Asia. Egypt shares borders with Libya in the west, Sudan in the south, and Israel in the east. The river Nile flows into the Mediterranean Sea, which sits along the northern side. Along the eastern side of Egypt is the paradise of scuba divers, the Red Sea, which is abundant in coral reefs. Only 5% of the entirety of Egypt is inhabitable, while 99% of its entire population lives on either side of the Nile. This should not come as a surprise, as all major civilizations have developed along riverbanks. The entire population of Egypt, some 97 million people, depends on the Nile. The pyramids of Giza are 4,500 years old. The largest of these is the Great Pyramid. The pharaoh Khufu built this structure, which took 20 whole years. The pyramids were constructed with limestone and granite, which were chiseled into huge square blocks. 30 kilometers south from Cairo is Saqqara, where the oldest Egyptian pyramid, the Step Pyramid, is located. Around 120 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt so far. The Great Sphinx of Giza is a limestone statue of a reclining sphinx, a mythical creature with the body of a lion and the head of a human. Facing directly from west to east, it stands on the Giza Plateau on the western bank of the Nile in Giza. It is the largest and the most famous of the sphinxes, and the face is generally believed to represent Pharaoh Khafra. The world-famous Egyptian Museum is home to an extensive collection of ancient Egyptian antiquities and the world's largest collection of pharaonic antiquities. It contains many important pieces of ancient Egyptian history and culture, including the gold mask of Tutankhamun, composed of 11 kilograms of solid gold. About 900 kilometers from Cairo, along the northern border of Egypt, is a region named Aswan. The language and culture of the Nubian villages in Aswan is quite distinct. Nubian music, spices, and food are great attractions for tourists. Nubian handcrafted items are popular as well. The friendly approach of the Nubians conquers the hearts of tourists. The construction of the Aswan High Dam in 1970 brought about numerous changes. The summer rains in Ethiopia no longer gives rise to floods in Egypt. Sadly, the high dam also submerged several historic monuments and Nubian villages. The Abu Simbel temples are two massive rock temples at Abu Simbel village in Aswan Governorate, near the border of Sudan. These were constructed during the time of Pharaoh Ramses II. The Abu Simbel Temple is a part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. They are a lasting monument to the Pharaoh Ramses II and his queen Nefertari. These temples were relocated to prevent them from being drowned in Lake Nasser, which was formed as a result of the construction of the high dam. Between Aswan and Luxor are several ancient and magnificent temples. Behind the temples are ancient beliefs and legends. These temples can be visited via road or via the Nile River. The The most delightful mode is the Nile cruise, which takes place in 5-star luxury liners. The Philae Temple is on a small island on the River Nile. It is believed to have been constructed in honor of Isis, the goddess of life and magic. Isis is one of the great goddesses of ancient Egypt and is the sister and wife of Osiris. The Temple of Komombo is in the Aswan Governorate, 47 kilometers north of Aswan, along the banks of the winding Nile River. The temple was dedicated to the gods Sobek, Hathor, and Khunsu. There is a museum of crocodiles adjacent to the temple, while the scene on one of the walls of the temple probably represents a set of ancient surgical instruments. The Temple of Edfu is an Egyptian temple located on the west bank of the Nile in Edfu, between Esna and Aswan. It was built in the Ptolemaic kingdom and is dedicated mainly to Horus, the son of Isis and Osiris. Horus was usually depicted as a falcon-headed man wearing a crown, as a symbol of kingship over the entire kingdom of Egypt. It is one of the best preserved shrines in Egypt. Luxor Temple is a must-visit site on a tour of Egypt. It is proof of unending Egyptian history. Luxor Temple is a large ancient temple complex located on the east bank of the Nile River in the city known as Luxor. One can see the paintings and statues of the famous pharaohs Tutankhamun, Hatshepsut, Ramses II, Amenhotep III, and Ramses III in these temples. Luxor Temple is dedicated to 3 gods, Amun, his wife Mut, and his son Khuns. Meanwhile, Karnak Temple comprises 3 main temples, a vast mix of decayed temples, chapels, pylons, statues, obelisks, and other buildings near Luxor. Karnak Temple is dedicated to the powerful ram-headed god Amun. It was built over a period of 1,500 years. Approximately 30 pharaohs contributed to the buildings here. The Valley of Kings stands on the west bank of the Nile, where rock-cut tombs were excavated for the pharaohs and powerful nobles of the new kingdom. It is indeed a charming location. There are 63 tombs here, including that of Tutankhamun and Ramses IV. Of these, only 20 are that of the pharaohs. There is a facility for hot air balloon rides in Luxor. These rides present an aerial view of the sunrise, Valley of the Kings, the agricultural lands along the delta of the Nile River, and other unforgettably beautiful sights. Stretching around 40 kilometers along Egypt's Red Sea coast is the breathtakingly beautiful beach resort town of Hurghada. The seas around Hurghada offer some of the best coral reef dive spots in the world, giving the opportunity to see many colorful fish species, including the Red Sea clownfish, emperor angelfish, Picasso triggerfish, and moray eels. It's one of the most renowned places in the world for scuba diving, as the coral reefs here are exquisite. There are numerous luxury resorts and hotels in this peaceful town. The sights of Egypt preserved by time do not end here. The Nile has countless stories to tell. This land, where history rests, awaits travelers who seek wonder and adventure.